Welcome back. The Patient Man. Just sitting down the beach. Beautiful day. Very beautiful day. And I just got to thinking one really, really interesting subject that I hold dearly to me as well, in my own personal experience, is drinking alcohol. It's one of those things, isn't it? It's just one of those really interesting subjects. Why do we do it? Is it ceremonial? Do we do it because it's the norm? Or it's a coping mechanism? Or what is it? Why do you think you drink? For me, I reckon it's a learned behaviour. Seeing parents doing it, or seeing people, as a young child, seeing people become different people when they drink, happier, laughing. Obviously that's not always the scenario with people who drink. Sometimes it brings depression, it brings loneliness, it brings all sorts of things. But for me, I used to drink, when I started drinking when I was younger, I used to drink for acceptance, to be a part of something, because I think the fear of being outcasted, of not drinking around your friends when you're in that age of your mid-20s and that, I think that fear of judgment's too much. So the acceptance of just going, let's drink. And then finding that as it gets older and you become better at it, unfortunately, you start to find that it's a regulation. You know, you'll come home from work, have a really bad day, and you might have that little drink just to numb that little top off it. Now, I was a binge drinker, a heavy binge drinker. I would drink, in my younger years, I would drink every weekend, but I'd drink enough in that weekend than I needed to, which is most of the culture in Australia, again, I'm not judging, I'm not preaching, I've been there, I've experienced it, and I've come through. And it's just, I used to just drink because I wanted to be a part of it. I didn't feel like, I didn't want to be alone. I didn't want to be alone in my own world. I wanted to make sure I was a part of everyone. And when you do take a stance on drinking, and you don't want to attach it to emotions anymore, and you don't want to, it is quite isolating. I do believe there is a big movement now with not drinking alcohol, which is so great to see. And I'm not demonising alcohol. I love having a red wine with my wife, or I love just having a cold beer sometimes after a hard day's work. But that's because I want to enjoy it. It's not because I'm finding something in it. I never really understood the problem I had with drinking until one very interesting one was I started drinking. My wife and I were doing IVF, and I was working in a job I really didn't like. I felt super uncomfortable in the job. It never fulfilled any purpose of mine. Financially it did. It was a good paying job, and that's another subject for men. But I never felt fulfilled. I was empty. So I used to come home and I'd just have a drink, and I'd sit by myself. Now this is where it used to get interesting for me, because I was very social. I just want to drink around the fire by myself at home. And I used to get a six-pack and I'd sit there and drink. And then my wife and I were doing IVF, and I found out that I was the process of trying for kids for a long time. And I found out as a man that I had a low sperm count. And I brushed it off, like all men do. And I really believed that, whatever, we'll just move on, very logical brain. But my drinking just went up that little bit more. And it was a six-pack, 2 six-packs. And by the end of it, I remember I was sitting at home on a weekend, finishing work, and I would sit down, I would prepare myself. The enjoyment I used to get out of it, because I knew I could get out of my brain and get out of my body. I used to prepare myself. I'd have the esky there, and I'd have this little ritual, little routine. And at the time, it felt great to me. But looking back now, I was so sad and hurt and scared and unknown, and I would sit there every single weekend on just one day. On one afternoon, I'd get home at 3:30 and I would drink a whole slab of beer before 9 o'clock. Now, I got very good. I mean, I got reasonably good at drinking to the point where I could still stand up and have conversations. But my wife come home and she used to just look at me, and I could see in her eyes the concern by looking at me. And deep down inside as a man, I knew that she knew something was up, but I didn't know how to access it. I didn't know what it was specifically. And still now to this day, I believe it could have just been a whole lot of everything, because that's hard news finding out stuff like that. It's not really demasculates what we are about it as a man, which is another subject. And it crept up so slowly, so slowly. And the damage it done to me was just astronomical. It was just the liver and all these things that I was just powering in, but I was functioning. I could go to work. But deep down inside, I knew there was something not right. But I didn't have the emotional intelligence. I didn't have the mental aptitude to be able to look into that. Instead, I just kept pushing it down. And suppressed emotions cause a lot of issues on their own. Also, with friends, you have drinking cultures, you have drinking friendships. And I love that. I really do. I won't lie. I love getting around. There's a certain group of mates that I get around, and we all just drink and sit around a fire and we just pick on each other, and the camaraderie's solid. And I still love that. I genuinely do love that. But does it come at the cost of my health? My mental health's really good because I'm around a community. I'm around people who I love dearly. But does it serve my physical health? Does it serve my health span? No, it doesn't. And this is where the balance for me now is becoming that I'm outweighing. I feel like my health and my presence and my will and my want to be the best version of myself and also put my best foot forwards for everyone around me is starting to outweigh that feeling of binge drinking. And it's a really nice feeling because I never thought I'd ever break that mold. It was really, really difficult. Sometimes now I'll have a drink and I might have a few too many. I might have 4 or 5 and it feels nice, but then the next day, same old thing. And when I'm doing that in the moment, I'm aware of what I'm doing, and I actually give myself permission to say to myself, okay, Chris, it's okay. Have yourself 4 or 5, have a few more than you normally would, and see how you go tomorrow. And I've never come back the next day saying, oh, geez, that was enjoyable. It is a poison, but it's amazing. It is a ritual thing. I love my friends for it. I love my friends who don't do it. I love my friends who do it. I have no judgment at all, but all I'll ask you is, are you drinking for the enjoyment? Or are you drinking because you're hiding something? Is there something deeper? Is there something you might want to talk to your partner about? Is there a tension in the house that can't be broken, that needs to be discussed about? This comes back to emotional intelligence. It's okay to talk about it. And I really implore any man who is going to watch this channel to be vulnerable and be honest with yourself. Be honest with, why do you drink? And is it just because you like it? Or is there actually a reason deep down? Because you'd be surprised, there would be something deep down inside. And don't judge yourself for it. Don't say you're no good, you're shit, you're a loser, you're this and that. You're a beautiful person just as you are. You've found a coping mechanism that is ritualistic. It's abided by a lot of people. It's normalized in culture. But does it have to be normal for you? No, it doesn't. It just doesn't. So my question to you is, question of the day, if you were to stop drinking, let's say for 30 days or let's say 6 months, stop drinking for 6 months, What do you think would change in your life? What do you think would come up for you? And if you've never tried it before, try. Maybe not 6 months, but try a short term. Try to cut back on your alcohol dosing. And just see what it brings out in you. You might find that you become probably more agitated, but it doesn't make you less of a man. It just makes you a human. None of us are perfect. We are all our own selves, and we're all here to learn and experience. And that's why I always make sure I repeat the words, don't be too hard on yourself, because life is too short, but it is an experience, and you should try to work out why. Always be curious about your why. I love yous all. I love men's strength. Keep it going and stay strong to yourself and enjoy what you do.